how connected do you feel like to like your Costa Rican culture? And I know that in the past we've spoken about like, you have a little bit of an accent when you speak Spanish.
Hmm.
Like, has that shaped the way you connect with your culture?
That's so interesting. So, since I wasn't really like raised there throughout like I don't know all of elementary school, it's like I missed a lot of like the key Costa Rican like history learnings,
Hmm.
and so
I
there,
can relate to that a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I still eat like Costa Rican food. I make Costa Rican food for my boyfriend, Caucasian man. I love him. And like I really enjoy that. So like there's definitely like the connection to like the food and everything. But in California, you don't really see like a wide array of Latinos. Like
Mhm.
mostly everybody's like from Mexico, and other times I think most of the my friends that I knew like growing up were
Yeah, it's
actually Mexican.
predominantly
Yeah,
Mexican.
yeah.
Even in Arizona, I had the same
Yeah, because
experience.
it's like you're right there and
Yeah.
everything. So there was like the push of like assimilate into the culture,
Hmm.
like don't stay behind, and then also not being surrounded by like other Latinos that much. It was also like, well, how do you celebrate culture and everything? And then also I feel like I see like Mexican culture and it's like so rich and they have like all these traditions and holidays. I feel like Costa Ricans are just like kind of like go with the flow. Like
Hmm.
um our motto is like pura vida, which means pure life,
Hmm.
which I think is like very, very true to the country. It's like go with the flow, have a good time, good chill vibes. And so I think that radiated into like there isn't there wasn't a lot for me to grasp, and probably like my mom too being overwhelmed
Of
and
course.
being like, yeah, like I need to just teach you English.
Right.
So there's definitely like times in which I don't feel connected. And one big thing of me launching the group Amigas Latinas where we met
Yeah.
was specifically that to like connect with other people who might not have been from Costa Rica, but like shared the same story of like being a migrant or like being really new to like a culture that like wasn't really made for you.
Hmm.
And so that has helped me like heal like a lot of that of like, okay, like Latinas come in all shapes and forms. Some of us speak Spanish, some of us speak Spanglish, and so that has helped a lot. And anytime I go back now, I try to like really assimilate and like do experiences by myself. I went by myself last February, and that was like super fun to do because I got to like surf, go to museums, and like really push myself as an adult in that
That's
way.
so cool. Oh my God, I want to go surfing
It's
so
actually
bad.
not that hard.
Really? It
Yeah.
sounds really scary.
I feel like if you just swim, like most of the time they just push you and they do the work for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a class. Like, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm down for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We'll get to Amigas Latinas
Yes.
very soon, but I was gonna ask you, I feel like you have become, I guess in my eyes, a little bit of a public figure.
Oh my
Like
God.
you're on TikTok, 35,000 followers, which is not a small achievement. You have a huge community on Instagram, you have a community on LinkedIn. Like, what would you say now is like your claim to like fame?
Oh my God. You know what's so funny? Everybody asked me, like, how did you start like TikTok? Like, how did you get to this point? And I started TikTok back in 2020 and I was doing clothing hauls and I would show like the outfits that I would get like shopping. And then like I went broke because I spent too much money on clothes. And I think like my big claim to fame was like making Big Four consulting accounting content, which is like weird to say, but like,
Extremely niche.
yeah,
Yes.
extremely niche. But like, I think that tapped into an area of like the corporate world and then also not being like the average person that you would think works there.
Hmm.
Like being a Latina, being a woman, and all those
Being an
things.
immigrant.
Exactly. So I think that really has like propelled a lot of that. And I think also I used to be very timid as a child.
No,
Like,
oh, okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna
you're
say,
like,
no
no,
way.
you're not.
You're lying.
Yeah. Um, and I built up like a lot of the confidence like growing up too. And I think that also of like me pushing myself. And then also I told you I had a camera when I was like 5 years old. Like I was vlogging everything.
You've been vlogging since you were 5.
I was vlogging my sister having a breakdown and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at her. And so
We
there's
need
been
to see that footage.
and she'd be like, Yeah. She would say, like, I would record her, like, singing, and I'm like, "Sing for the camera." So, like, there's been, like, a lot of, like, key parts that have, like, molded into my, I guess, rise to fame.
Yeah.
I think but also just, like, being, like, my true authentic self of, like, okay, like, yes, I'm me at the end of the day, like, I have a very corporate persona, but, like, when people get to know me, they're like, "Oh, yes, a human," you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like you really like embody that Puerto Rican, no, oh my God, Puerto Rican, I'm so sorry. Costa Rican kindness. You know,
Oh,
like
that's so sweet.
I haven't met a lot of Costa Ricans because, again, they're, back in Costa Rica, because why would you ever leave? But the times that I have, they're always like the kindest and sweetest people. And I feel like that really shines through your content.
That's so wholesome. Thank you.
Well, I also love that you do a lot of like pay transparency, and I feel like that's so needed, especially for minorities, especially for women. The wage gap just got increased, guys, just
Yeah.
increased recently. So I wanted to talk to you about that. Like you started at like $20 an hour, and now you're making like six figures.
Mhm.
How has that progression been, and how did you get there?
Yeah, I went to San Jose State, which
Yeah.
is not like a prestigious university in the Bay Area compared to like a Berkeley and Stanford that are right there. But I think it's really well located and like with good connections. And
Mm,
so that allowed me to be like, okay, like how much should I be earning? And then even though I graduated during the pandemic, like it was still like kind of like a proximity thing too. So I was able to get like internships pretty early on. Um, and it was because other people were like, "Hey, you need to get an internship." And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." Okay. Um, my first job out of college though, like I did not advocate for myself and I was not making enough. I was making like 46K
oh,
and
wow.
I was having to move across the country for this job. I, was living with like a roommate and everything. And I don't know. I was out of college. I didn't know how to manage my finances.
Of course. No one
Um,
does. I feel like the first 2 years, you're just like,
yeah,
you don't see your salary. You're like,
exactly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know where it went.
And then when I went to go leave that job, I was like looking and I was like, okay, like tech pays really, really well and I get really good benefits. And so it was like kind of through that where I was like, okay, let me see how I can get like a little bit more pay, whether it's like through the actual salary or stocks. And that's when I started to be like, okay, like how can it be like strategic about this? Cause I mean, my parents didn't really teach me this of like, I don't know, our Costa Rica, I'm like, I don't know, like back then you didn't have the concept of like a salary stocks and like
Even asking for like equity or stocks in a company, that's like a higher level. Like, oh, wow, you're really thinking about this.
yeah. So I kind of kept learning about that and I actually had really great managers and really good leadership at that time that like allowed me to ask these questions and like we're like, "Hey, like we know that you're clearly young." And they're really open to like guiding me and like providing of like insight of like this is what this means, this is how you can leverage it. So I'm really thankful because I had like a lot of people that I could lean on. One of my really good mentors from like my first internship, he guided me a lot. He actually, when I graduated, gave me like a great book in terms of like how to manage your finances. I'm like, what a great book. And then the older that I got, um, the more strategic I was like pushing of like, hey, like actually my experience, I have these certificates. I was able to push for like a lot more in terms of salary. But I think proximity, location are super, super key. Like I went from working San Francisco area to now New York City. And so those have been like really big hubs for like paying well. And so I
Absolutely.
think if I were to go back to Florida, like and get a job there, it wouldn't pay as well as it does here, you know?
Yeah.